Ladies and gentlemen, this is your moment. This is your time. Have you ever felt stuck whilst in the routines of life, overwhelmed by your own choices, or maybe by the things you had no control over? Well, let me tell you something right now. You can't reset. You can rewrite your story in just 7 days. 7 days. God didn't create the world in a single moment. He took it day by day. And if a masterpiece takes time, what makes you think your transformation can't begin this week? I know what you're thinking, Hal. How can I turn everything around in a week when I've spent years feeling like this? I need you to stay with me. Don't just hear me, feel this in your spirit. Because by the end of this, I promise you, you'll have a plan, not just a plan for change, but for a breakthrough. You'll realize that 7 days isn't a limitation, it's a launch pad. A new beginning is not just an idea or a concept, it is a force, a spark that ignites the possibility of transformation in our lives. Every human being carries the weight of their past mistakes, regrets, missed opportunities, or even the pain inflicted by circumstances beyond their control. But within each of us lies the power to hit the reset button, to reclaim what has been lost, and step into a new chapter with purpose and clarity. This ability to start fresh is one of the most profound gifts we have, but it requires intention and courage. A new beginning is not about erasing the past, it is about embracing it as part of your journey while refusing to be defined by it. Think of the seasons, how spring follows the coldest winter, bringing new growth and fresh blooms. Life too has seasons. The beauty of a reset lies in acknowledging that the season you're leaving behind doesn't dictate the one you're stepping into. Whatever has happened before now is a chapter, not the whole story. People often underestimate the power of a fresh start because they feel trapped by circumstances or limited by the beliefs they've carried for years. But history has shown us countless examples of people that transformed their lives simply by choosing to begin again. Nelson Mandela, who spent 27 years in prison, walked out not with bitterness, but with the determination to build a new future. J.K. Rowling, once a struggling single mother, reset her life by believing in her writing. These stories remind us that a reset doesn't require perfect conditions, it requires a decision to act, regardless of where you are. What makes a new beginning so powerful is that it is rooted in hope. It's the belief that something better is possible and that the future can look radically different from the past. Hope fuels action. It gives us the strength to rise after we've fallen, to look ahead even when the road seems uncertain. Without hope, it's easy to stay stuck, replaying the same patterns and expecting different results. But with hope, every small step becomes meaningful, every effort part of a greater transformation. The beauty of a new beginning lies in its simplicity. It doesn't require monumental change overnight. It starts with small, intentional shifts, letting go of what no longer serves you, redefining what you want, and taking deliberate steps toward it. This is where the magic happens. When you make the decision to begin again, you invite growth into your life. You allow yourself to be shaped by new experiences, new connections, and new perspectives. This concept is not new. It has been echoed through spiritual teachings, literature, and philosophy for centuries. The Bible speaks of new beginnings repeatedly, emphasizing redemption and renewal. The Japanese art of kintsugi celebrates the beauty of brokenness, where cracks in pottery are repaired with gold, transforming them into something even more valuable. Across cultures and beliefs, the message remains the same. Every ending holds within it the seed of a new beginning. This isn't just theoretical. Research in psychology underscores the transformative power of fresh starts. A study published in Management Science found that people are more likely to take action toward their goals following a temporal landmark, such as a birthday, the start of a new year, or even Monday. These moments provide a psychological reset, allowing individuals to distance themselves from past failures and approach their goals with renewed motivation. The power of a new beginning is life-changing, but it requires something from you. It requires the willingness to let go of what was, to dream of what could be, and to take bold steps forward even when fear and doubt try to hold you back. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. When you choose to reset your life, you are making a declaration: I am not defined by what has been. I am defined by what I choose to do next. A new beginning is not just an opportunity, it is a responsibility. You owe it to yourself to embrace the fresh start that is always available. This moment, this day, this week, any one of them could be the turning point. But it starts with a decision, a choice to begin again. What are you waiting for? The power to change your life is already within you. The way you think shapes the reality you live in. Your mindset acts as the foundation for everything in your life: your goals, your relationships, your achievements, and even how you respond to challenges. It is not external circumstances that determine your success or failure, but the lens through which you interpret those circumstances. This is why the first and most crucial step in resetting your life is transforming your mindset. Without addressing how you think, any change you attempt to make will only be temporary, a surface level fix rather than a deep, lasting transformation. A fixed mindset sees limitations. It whispers, you can't do that, or this is just the way life is. It convinces you that you are bound by your circumstances, past mistakes, or the opinions of others. On the other hand, a growth mindset sees potential. It says, what can I learn from this? Or how can I improve? This type of thinking is empowering because it shifts the focus away from obstacles and onto opportunities. When you adopt a growth mindset, you stop asking why something happened to you and start asking how you can rise above it. Your mindset also influences the choices you make daily. A negative mindset keeps you in a cycle of self-doubt and fear. It sabotages opportunities before you even begin to pursue them. In contrast, a positive and open mindset gives you the courage to take risks, try new things, and embrace failure as a stepping stone rather than a dead end. This shift doesn't happen by accident. It takes intentional effort to identify and replace the thoughts that are holding you back. Many thought leaders and researchers have emphasized the importance of mindset in personal growth. Carol Dweck, a psychologist and author of the groundbreaking book Mindset, The New Psychology of Success, introduced the concept of fixed versus growth mindsets. Her research shows that individuals who believe their abilities can develop through hard work and perseverance are more likely to achieve their goals than those who believe their talents are fixed traits. This simple but profound insight highlights how changing the way you think about yourself and your potential can have a direct impact on the results you achieve. One powerful example of the impact of mindset is Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and author of Man's Search for Meaning. Despite enduring unimaginable suffering, he observed that those who maintained a sense of purpose and refused to give up hope often survived against all odds. Frankl's experiences underline the truth that while we cannot always control our circumstances, we have the power to choose our perspective and response. Mindset is not just about positivity for the sake of it. It's about rewiring your internal narrative to align with the goals you want to achieve. Research in neuroscience shows that our thoughts create neural pathways in the brain. When we repeatedly think in a certain way, those pathways strengthen, making it easier to think that way in the future. This is why negative thinking becomes a habit and why breaking free from it requires consistent effort. The good news is that you can train your mind to focus on possibilities instead of problems. Through practices like mindfulness, affirmations, gratitude, and self-reflection, you can begin to reshape your internal dialogue and reprogram your brain for success. The process of shifting your mindset is not always easy, but it is worth it. It requires honesty, being willing to confront the beliefs that no longer serve you. It requires courage, choosing to think differently even when it feels uncomfortable or unfamiliar. And it requires consistency, reminding yourself daily of who you are and who you are becoming. When your mindset aligns with your vision, everything else begins to fall into place. You start to see opportunities where there were once obstacles. You approach challenges with resilience instead of fear. Your decisions become intentional and your actions purposeful. This is why resetting your life begins with resetting your mind. The foundation you lay here will determine the strength and stability of everything you build moving forward. Transformation happens one step at a time. Change is not an overnight process. It unfolds through consistent, intentional actions taken daily. When you think about resetting your life, it can feel overwhelming to envision the end goal. This is why breaking it down into manageable steps is essential. Each day offers an opportunity to build momentum, moving closer to the life you desire. These daily steps, though small, are powerful when repeated with focus and purpose. Renewal begins with clarity about what you want to change and why. Without a clear sense of purpose, your actions lack direction and you risk falling back into old habits. Once you identify your goals, every day becomes a chance to take deliberate actions that align with that vision. It might be committing to 15 minutes of exercise, journaling to process your thoughts, or learning something new that contributes to your growth. The key is to remain consistent. Small actions, when compounded over time, create significant results. Daily renewal also involves addressing different areas of your life, mind, body, and spirit. This holistic approach ensures that no aspect of your well-being is neglected. For example, starting your day with a moment of gratitude or meditation can help center your mind, while dedicating time to physical activity boosts your energy and mood. Feeding your soul might mean connecting with loved ones, engaging in a creative activity, or reflecting on your values and aspirations. By intentionally nurturing all aspects of your being, you create a sense of balance and harmony that fuels your transformation. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, emphasizes that meaningful change comes from making small improvements daily. His concept of the 1% rule highlights how tiny adjustments in your habits can lead to exponential growth over time. Another reference is Stephen Covey's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which stresses the importance of proactive daily actions in achieving personal and professional success. The path to renewal isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Each step forward is a victory, no matter how small it may seem. When you commit to daily steps with consistency and intention, you create a ripple effect that transforms your entire life. Accountability is a powerful force that keeps us grounded in our intentions and commitments. When you decide to reset your life, it's easy to start with great enthusiasm, but without a system of accountability, it becomes much harder to follow through. Whether it's someone you trust, a mentor, or even a system you create for yourself, accountability ensures that you stay on track and remain committed to the goals you've set for yourself. The challenge with trying to change on your own is the temptation to let things slide. Life throws distractions your way, doubts creep in, and the initial excitement fades. Accountability forces you to answer for your actions. It's a gentle nudge reminding you you've made promises to yourself and others, and it matters that you honor them. This system doesn't just hold you responsible, it motivates you to push beyond your comfort zone, keeping your eyes on the prize, even when obstacles arise. For example, consider someone trying to get fit. Without any external checks, it's easy to skip a workout, delay progress, or even quit. However, when they have a workout buddy or a trainer who is expecting them to show up, they're much more likely to stick with the routine. This external layer of responsibility, combined with their internal drive, creates a winning combination. The same principle applies to any aspect of life where you are seeking change, whether it's personal development, finances, or relationships. Focus goes hand in hand with accountability. In a world filled with distractions, social media, constant notifications, competing priorities, it's easy to lose sight of your objectives. Focus is about aligning your thoughts and actions with your vision, ensuring that every choice you make serves that greater purpose. To cultivate focus, you need clarity about what you're working towards. When your goals are well-defined, focus becomes easier to maintain because every decision you make is tied to a larger purpose. In his book, The One Thing, Gary Keller emphasizes the importance of narrowing your focus to the most important tasks that will move the needle in your life. Rather than spreading yourself thin with countless commitments, true success comes from dedicating your energy to one thing at a time, giving it your full attention until it's accomplished. This intense focus creates a ripple effect as it frees you from the overwhelm of multitasking and gives you the clarity and energy to make meaningful progress. Research has shown that accountability and focus together lead to greater success in achieving long-term goals. A study from the American Society of Training and Development found that people who commit to their goals publicly are 65% more likely to accomplish them. When they have a specific accountability appointment, that number increases to 95%. This powerful statistic shows that when you share your goals and have regular check-ins, your chances of success increase exponentially. When you create a system of accountability, you're not just setting yourself up for success in the short term, you're developing a foundation of discipline, consistency, and focus that can carry you through life's challenges. You become someone who follows through on their commitments, who rises to the occasion when called upon, and who makes the most out of every opportunity. It's this blend of accountability and focus that drives you toward the future you envision the power to reset and achieve what seemed impossible. Faith is the internal compass that guides you toward your goals, especially when the road was unclear. It's the belief that despite the uncertainty, despite the challenges, and despite the setbacks, the destination you are moving toward is worth the effort. Faith doesn't require proof, and it doesn't demand that you have all the answers right away. It's the quiet, unwavering confidence that something greater is unfolding. It's knowing that even if you can't see the entire picture, each step you take will bring you closer to the life you envision. Faith goes hand in hand with courage because true faith requires bravery. When you choose to move forward in faith, you are stepping into the unknown. It's one thing to say you believe in something, but it's another to act on that belief, especially when the world around you may be discouraging. Courage is the willingness to face your fears, to take that first step, even when you are uncertain of the outcome. It's easy to wait for perfect conditions, to hold back until everything aligns perfectly, but the reality is that perfection never arrives. The moment to move forward is always now. The connection between faith and courage is apparent in the stories of people who have overcome adversity to achieve greatness. Think of the civil rights leaders who risked everything for justice, or the entrepreneurs who invested their last dollar into a business that hadn't even launched yet. Their success didn't come from knowing they would succeed. It came from having the faith that they were doing the right thing and the courage to face whatever challenges lay ahead. They believed that their purpose was bigger than their fear, and that belief fueled their actions. A powerful example is Thomas Edison, who faced countless failures before creating the light bulb. It's said that he failed over 1,000 times before finding the right filament. When asked about these failures, he famously replied, "I have not failed. I've just found 1,000 ways that won't work." Edison's faith in his vision and his courage to continue despite repeated setbacks was the reason he eventually succeeded. Research in psychology has demonstrated that faith and courage often work together to increase resilience. People who have a strong belief in their ability to overcome challenges, whether through faith, self-confidence, or trust in a higher power, are more likely to keep going in the face of adversity. In a study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, researchers found that individuals with a strong sense of faith or optimism were more likely to recover from difficult life events. This type of mindset doesn't just help you cope, it empowers you to rise, learn, and grow from every experience. Having faith also means letting go of control and trusting the process. So often people try to control every aspect of their journey, only to find that the more they push, the more resistance they encounter. Faith teaches you to surrender the outcome, understanding that not everything is within your control. This is where courage becomes necessary. When you don't have all the answers, when you're unsure of what comes next, courage steps in to push you forward, even out of map. Moving forward with faith and courage means accepting that setbacks will come, but they are not the end of the journey. Instead of seeing them as failures, treat them as opportunities to learn and grow. When you step out in faith, you may not see the results immediately, but you are planting the seeds for future growth. Courage is what helps you water those seeds. Continue nurturing them and trust that in due time they will blossom. In this journey of resetting your life, faith and courage are your allies. They are what will keep you moving when everything feels uncertain and when your confidence falters. Together, they provide the foundation upon which all transformation rests, because without faith that change is possible and courage to take the first step, nothing will ever shift. One of the greatest barriers to personal growth and transformation is the belief that success must look perfect from the start. Perfectionism often holds us back from even trying because we're afraid of making mistakes, looking foolish, or falling short of an imagined standard. The truth is that transformation and progress rarely happen in perfect linear steps. Instead, they unfold through a series of small victories, incremental changes, and occasional setbacks. This is why celebrating progress, no matter how small, is essential to resetting your life and creating lasting change. When you focus too much on perfection, you create unrealistic expectations that can lead to disappointment and frustration. Perfection, by its nature, is unattainable. It's a moving target, and no matter how close you get, it always seems just out of reach. This constant pursuit can leave you feeling defeated, and you may give up altogether if you feel you can't measure up to the ideal you've set. The key to overcoming this cycle is to shift your focus from perfection to progress. Instead of measuring your worth or success by how perfect the end result is, start by appreciating the effort and growth along the way. Celebrating progress encourages a mindset that values the journey over the destination. Each small step you take toward your goal is a success in itself. Whether it's waking up earlier to work on your dreams, making a healthier choice, or taking the time to reflect on your growth, these are all signs that you're moving forward. These moments of progress, while sometimes overlooked, are what make long-term transformation possible. By acknowledging and celebrating them, you give yourself the motivation to continue. Research supports the idea that small wins have a big impact on motivation. Teresa Amabile, a psychologist at Harvard Business School, found that when people acknowledge even small progress in their work, they experience an increase in motivation and satisfaction. The progress principle, which she explores in her book of the same name, argues that people who feel like they're making progress, no matter how minor, are more likely to continue working toward their goals. This principle applies to any area of life. Whether you're trying to build a new habit, achieve a career milestone, or strengthen your relationships, recognizing your progress fuels your determination to keep going. In The Happiness Advantage, Sean Acker discusses how positive reinforcement, such as celebrating small successes, boosts performance and well-being. He argues that when people feel good about their progress, they are more likely to engage in behaviors that lead to further wins. This positive feedback loop is crucial for long-term motivation. It's easy to get discouraged if you're only focused on the end result, but when you take the time to appreciate the small wins along the way, you build confidence and reinforce the belief that change is possible. Celebrating progress also cultivates gratitude. When you focus on how far you've come rather than how far you still have to go, you start to see the value in your efforts. And that breeds a sense of gratitude for what you've accomplished. This gratitude enhances your mindset, helping you to stay grounded and positive even in the face of setbacks. The practice of celebrating progress over perfection is not about ignoring flaws or shortcomings. It's about shifting your perspective to see that every step you take toward your goal is a victory in itself. This mindset nurtures resilience, motivation, and a sense of accomplishment that keeps you moving forward. It reminds you that the journey is just as important as the destination, and that, no matter how small, every progress point is worth celebrating. When you make this shift, you allow yourself the grace to grow, and you create the momentum needed to keep resetting your life, one step at a time.